Hello and welcome to the Game Lore Archives. In this episode we'll be talking about one of the lesser known games in the Elder Scrolls series called An Elder Scrolls Legend Battlespire. One thing to mention, which is quite cool but not totally lore related, is that it was actually the first multiplayer Elder Scrolls game. A lot of people think that it was Elder Scrolls Online, and not just co-op but versus as well. Battlespire is about an apprentice who's about to do the final test of his training to become a battle mage. However, when he arrives, he finds that the Battlespire has become overrun by Daedra, led by Mehrunes Dagon, and almost everyone inside has been killed. Throughout the game, the apprentice must travel through several realms of oblivion to defeat Mehrunes Dagon and escape back to Tamriel.
After a trip through space and time, meaning that we have no idea when this technically happens.
But we do know that the time that we left was when Jagatharn was posing as the Emperor.
The apprentice arrives at Battlespire to go through their last trial. However, when they arrive, no one is there to greet them. This does seem a little odd, but the apprentice thinks this must be part of one of the trials. This thought soon vanishes, however, when the apprentice finds a corpse of a powerful mage surrounded by scamps. He finds 2 scrolls by the body, and upon reading them, the apprentice finds out the Battlespire has been taken over by Daedra and learns some tips of basic survival from their friend. If you pick a male, the friend is Visasha Trinelli, and if you pick a female, it's Josane Cade. The apprentice's partner was there before and has left hints along the way. The apprentice can convince the scamps they will not hurt them, and they will not attack straight away, but actually talk to him. Upon asking them how someone can leave, they say either the boss, Mehrunes Dagon, or via a magical boat. This boat is called the Star Galley, and is mentioned in one of the scrolls read previously. Something else to note is that most of the creatures carry sigils which allow passage through a matching ward. Armed with this knowledge, the apprentice decides they will need to find Star Galley. The Star Galley will take them to the second level of the spire. However, on the way is something interesting to note lore-wise. On the body of a dead battle mage, a note can be found saying the mage is going to ride his dragon mount to the Imperial City and get reinforcements to take back to the tower. However, when he gets to his dragon, he only finds his skeleton, so he will never know if he could make this journey. Now, remember that the Battlespire is outside of Mundus, so this seems to suggest that dragons can fly in and out, or at least the dragon we mentioned in the Elder Scrolls Online episode, Bozzikunstren, was not the last one to be able to do it.
The Star Galley pulls up to the second level of the tower, and it seems the way back is now blocked. As the apprentice leaves the galley, they find another letter from their partner. Among other things, it tells you that Pax T. Bitter is the traitor who allowed the Daedra to invade. He specialised in teleportation and void gates, so could very easily get the Daedra in. They also say that the leader of the Daedra on this floor is called Samir, and has a mass teleportation artifact. The apprentice comes across a Daedra called Zaniba Nakara,
who, in the true style of 90s fantasy, should probably be wearing more armour than she is.
She comes across as bored and won't actually attack you straight away. She informs you that the pesky scamps have made off with parts of a void gate, and they need the parts to be recovered. She's also happy to strike a bargain to cause a little mischief in the ranks of the Daedra. After finding the first bit of the void gate, the apprentice comes across a little girl next to a tiger skin rug for some reason. But it turns out that she too is a Daedra. And if a piece of a void gate is brought to her, she will let you use the teleportation pad to access the rest of the floor.
Upon arriving on the next part of the second floor, the apprentice finds it crawling with Daedra. They make their way to an armoury and find a hidden mace called Scourge,
which will be needed to progress to the next level of the tower.
Before that, an exploration of the college barracks, after fighting off the scamps, reveals chunks of another void gate. Another chunk of the void gate, I should say. Also, in one of the other rooms is a hidden crypt with another bit of void gate inside. The library is the next destination, and inside is found a Dremora called Tanchlam. He is keen to talk to you and speaks about how the Daedra will ask for things and provide rewards based on the whims of their entertainment. He will then hand over a scroll and teleport away. Once again, this game throws up some generally interesting information. The scroll the scroll says the Daedra don't have souls, but something called an animus, which is a Daedra's essence, because when a Daedra is killed, their body is destroyed, and the animus is lost to the void, but eventually finds its way back to the correct realm of oblivion. It also says that the Daedra feel and fear pain, shame, and loss, and hate the darkness and fear it as well. It also says that the Dremora serve Mehrunes Dagon by choice, so his power will protect them from what they fear. And also they did not always serve him, but made a pact to follow him. It also talks about their attitude to men, and it reads,
"How then do you imagine we view humans? You are prey and we are huntsmen. Your flesh is sweet and the chase diverting. As you may sometimes praise the fox or the hare, admiring its cunning and speed, and lamenting as the hounds tear its flesh, so do we sometimes admire our prey, and secretly applaud when it cheats our snares or eludes our pursuit. But, like all worldly things, you will in time wear and be used up. You age, grow ugly, weak and foolish. You're always lost, late or soon. Sometimes the prey turns upon us and bites. It is a small thing. When wounded or weary, we fly away to restore. Sometimes a precious thing is lost, but that makes the chase all the sweeter."
It then goes on to say that men is utterly doomed, as they are mortal, and Daedra cannot understand how this does not make us despair.
Further along, the apprentice finds a scroll explaining a battle mage called Lermigan Mariel was actually someone called Syrian Angada under the influence of a transmorph potion. This is confirmed in a letter from Jagathan himself, and it appears he is also in league with Mehrunes Dagon as well. Further on is a living room with a nice cosy fireplace and another piece of the Void Gate on the table.
Considering the Daedra is supposed to be searching for it, it's a surprise it has been left alone.
Although not all is as it seems, as there's another piece of the gate hidden here as well. Once both have been obtained, the apprentice moves on. The next port of call is a Daedra called Wanshalar Kerian, and she's a short fuse, and at any time she's irritated, she saps large amounts of health. The conversation can go without a hitch if the mace we obtained earlier, called Scourge, is handed over to her. She then tries to use the mace on the apprentice, but as Daedra can't use it, she's teleported away. Now, with all the bits of the Void Gate have been collected, it's time to move on to the next level. Guarding the place for the Void Gate is the Daedra Lord Summir Jarbran, who your partner mentioned in the letter that they left behind. He allows safe passage to the next floor if the Void Gate is rebuilt for him.
The third floor is known as the Soul Cairn, and in a scroll left by your partner, they warn to not mess with the Wraiths, as the powerful Daedra can't do anything to damage them. There is a lot less Daedra on this floor due to the spectral threat. The Soul Cairn is basically a mausoleum to the dead. Soon the apprentice comes across a Wraith called Kirel Aman. His job was to protect the spire, but the Daedra attacked without warning, and all of his men fell. They took Kirel and drained him of everything, then interrogated him. He told them everything he knew, and the Daedra cursed him to become a Wraith. He asked to be put into a soul gem so that he can be used to defeat the Daedra and help ease the guilt of his failure. The gem he becomes heals the apprentice many times over. After a short swim, there is a cupboard which has a scroll which will turn the bone men to fight with the apprentice.
Very useful.
Upon entering the crypt, the ideal master's coffins are found. They are the leaders of the Soul Cairn. They each have a blue gem which informs the apprentice that if a certain ritual is performed, they will help. But it turns out the ritual will kill the person who performs them. At the corner of the room is a rod called the Rod of Pilot. The apprentice makes sure to take it. He then comes across a boat which can be used to cross the lake. Halfway across there is a hidden cave which has a scroll which can banish any wraith found on this floor. At the end of the lake, the spirit of Paxita Bitter can be found. You may remember he was mentioned in the scroll our partner left. This was the man who betrayed the spire. His anger at the Daedra turned him into a wraith after the help he gave them, and divulges some information about what happened. Paxti soon gives in to his bloodlust, and so long as you have the scroll from the hidden cave, he can be banished without a fight. Behind him is another scroll from your partner, who seems to be struggling now. She writes the next destination is Shade Perilous, which is one of Nocturnal's realms, and that is strange because Mehrunes Dagon and Nocturnal are not friendly with each other. Further on, a rod of passage can be found cleverly hidden outside the chapel, which the apprentice picks up. Inside the chapel is a coffin of another ideal master. He is more helpful than the others, and he tells you how to open the portal to leave Solkarn.
Upon landing in Nocturnal's realm, another letter can be found. Things have got much worse for your partner, and she's now fully on the run.
And they plan to go out with a bang if it has to come to that.
At the end of the room, there's a Frost Daedra, who, with a bit of quick thinking, is happy to share a lot of information. First is that they're at odds with the Fire Daedra, and the apprentice promises to help them. The Daedra hands over a piece of equipment to help fight the Fire Daedra, and it appears that either Zivali Moath, who leads the Frost Daedra, or Phaedra Sharadai, who leads the Fire Daedra, are in charge of Nocturnal's realm. Both are lieutenants of Mehrunes Dagon and very powerful Daedra, and that a Daedra called Imago Storm is in charge of the invasion force into Battlespire. In the next room is a Fire and a Frost Daedra both. After speaking to the Fire Daedra, another deal can be made to get rid of the Frost Daedra, and they provide a cool bit of equipment as well. The Fire Daedra will also inform you of two of Nocturnal's lieutenants, Jessiel Morgan and Deianira Ketris, who have been captured. As the apprentice presses on in search of Nocturnal's captured lieutenants, you come across a Dremora. He says to free your partner, you will need to go to Dagon's pleasure palace. He's not sure how to get there, but Jessiel Morgan will know how to get there. So, first off to the cells to free Deianira. Guarding the cells is a seducer, one of Nocturnal's Daedra, and if Jessiel and Deianira's name is used, she's convinced that they're on the same side, and she even fights with the apprentice, which is useful in the next room because there's a Frost and Flame Daedra that need to be killed, and she'll help. Once the room is clear, the apprentice finds a scroll from your partner, and on it is the password written to open the cell. Inside is Deianira Ketris. She asks you to free her mistress Jessiel from behind the night portal and from the dream sleeve she put herself in.
The dream sleeve is a state which her spirit is not in a body and is separated. We also see it in Skyrim.
Yeah. Deianira sends the apprentice to reactivate the night portal, and as they make their way through the realm, it's clear that some of Nocturnal's seducers have switched sides to join Mehrunes Dagon and have become dark seducers.
Which you can also see in Shivering Isles as Sheogoraths.
Mm-hmm.
So what's gone on there, unless they just abandoned everyone?
Mm-mm. Also, they are battling it out between each other, so the apprentice needs to be careful not to get caught in the crossfire. Once all the levers are activated, the night portal activates and access to the Magica Tourbillon has been opened. Once this riddle's solved, it activates Magica to restore Nocturnal's realm, and finally, Jessiel Morgan can be found, but due to her state, she's of no use to anyone.
The apprentice heads back and reports in to Deianira. She hears about the state of her mistress and despairs as she feels like it was her own fault. She then says the only way to bring Jessiel back is to shock her consciousness awake. She thinks sacrificing herself into oblivion will do the trick. With the ritual reluctantly performed, Jessiel wakes, and once she understands the situation, she will tell you how to follow Dagon's forces. The teleporter takes you to the Chimera of Desolation, where the Daedra hunt mortal prey. On the strange island there is two scrolls, one from a Dremora to clarify what's going on, and another from someone who wishes to aid you. It seems that the apprentice is the prey in a Daedra hunt, and to escape they need to take 6 keys to the Horned Temple, but one bit is held by the huntsman himself.
Which it turns out is against the rules, and the other huntsmen disapprove of the current one taking one of the keys.
As you travel through the land, it appears that the Frost Daedra were demoted from the squabble that happened in Nocturnal's realm, and they shoulder the blame. This is used to your advantage, as he can get the Frost Daedra to leave him alone if he shows a little compassion and shifts the blame back to the Fire Daedra. After traversing the land and finding as much as the Saviour's hide armour, and as many of the gate keys can be found, the apprentice finds the old man Chimera's cottage. Once all the bits of the armour have been brought to him, the old man grants him access to the Spear of Bitter Mercy. The spear can kill the huntsman, and once he's dead, The apprentice takes the final key from him. With all gate keys in hand, they are taken to the Great Horn Temple and open it to proceed to Havoc Wellhead.
The Havoc Wellhead is comparatively straightforward, but it does hold some powerful foes. The apprentice must be on his toes to make it through okay. As they come across a huge gate, which is far too big to open on your own, but with some resourceful ingenuity, a large tree is knocked into the gate and it smashes open. The Daedra on the other side are not impressed with the use of the environment and attack in large numbers. It seems that the apprentice has broken into a Daedric military camp, and there are many Daedra here, including powerful Daedric lords. As the Daedra are beaten through the camp, there is the battle mage that betrayed the spire, Syrian Agada. After conversation with him, he makes a request to pass a message to Mehrunes Dagon, but this is declined and the traitor's killed. Afterwards, the apprentice enters a small fort, and in it is Grand Vizier Imago Storm, who is the leader of the invasion force into Battlespire, and is another of Dagon's highest lieutenants. As with many of the Daedra we've come across, he actually has a deal for you. He believes the acceptance of nocturnal seducers into Dagon's court was a mistake. He says that Dagon needs to take some time out in Oblivion so he can restore order to the clans of Dremora. He also wants you to make the leader of both the Fire Daedra, Freyda Shaddai, and the Frost Daedra, Zivali Moath, join Dagon so that he can sort everything out without interference. He gives you all of their neonymics, as only their true name can banish them. First, find Zivali Moath and threaten him with his name. He will yield and grant immunity from his clan, and also give over one of the gate keys that you need. Next, the apprentice goes to get the gate key from Phaedra Shaddai. Once again, equipped with her proper name, she's a pushover, and a deal can be made, or simply she can be banished. Either way, you get her gate key, and alongside the one that Imago Storm gave up, this makes 3. The apprentice heads to Dagon's hunting lodge.
Upon arriving, you find a scroll from the Dremora friends the apprentice made earlier. They give lots of advice on how to proceed. First, gather the powerful artifacts that have made their way into this realm, and trust no one, as everyone and everything is pitted against you. The first item is the longbow of Heaven's Hail, which is extremely accurate with both magic and arrows. Further along is a floating island with a dark seducer on. This is Dagon's bodyguard and current lover. She must be defeated to get the sword of Moonreaver. This is the sword made of Mehrunes' own essence and is powerful enough to harm him. After gathering more artifacts, the apprentice soon comes across a bridge that will only open to the name of one of Dagon's lieutenants. Behind the bridge is a crossbow that will allow access to the island in the middle. Cross over and face a horde of powerful Daedra, and work your way to a teleporter, which once activated, the apprentice appears in the room with Mehrunes Dagon and their partner. The apprentice approaches Mehrunes and talks to him. One outcome of the conversation is that Dagon can be joined by both the apprentice and their partner, and they become loyal followers. However, it kind of takes you to a game over screen, so we don't think it's the intended ending, but it is fun.
So, the apprentice is very sarcastic, and although I've not put any direct quotes in so far, I will do it for the final conversation between Dagon and the apprentice because it's very funny and reads more like a playground argument than a conversation with a Daedric prince. Also, this is assuming that you have everything you need to defeat him. So, for your entertainment, a dramatic reading of the final confrontation of Elder Scrolls Battlespire.
I, for this dramatic reason, am Mehrunes Dagon, and Joe will be the apprentice. At last, I trust I find you in good health. I had wondered at your delay.
I am well, Lord Dagon, thank you. Though I can't say the same for your retainers who bid me welcome.
Congratulations! Your armour of the Saviour's Hide protects you from the magical forces that paralyse your friend. You are well prepared, which is exactly according to plan. Some important and valuable artefacts have long eluded my grasp, and now you've thoughtfully bring them to me.
I see you are well informed by your spies, the seducers, which is exactly according to my plan. Certainly, now you think that you know everything, and become careless, complacent, and overconfident.
Come now, surely a Daedric prince can fear no harm from a humble creature like yourself.
See? Careless, complacent, and overconfident, as I just said. Just suppose that this humble creature knows the secret of your protonomic. As in the sorceress abjuration, I banish you, Mehrunes, Dagon, Legola, to the worlds of oblivion. How do you like them apples?
Well, I must say I'm impressed. Bravo. You are a promising student. However, I am afraid I must inform you that without my mnemonic, the protonomic will do you no good. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh dear, what a silly ass I am. Surely now you'll blast me to powder because I lack your mnemonic. Nuts. But you know what? I'm feeling lucky today. So lucky, I bet I can guess your mnemonic. Let's see, how about... Jekelo Dehebe Efazepe. Just a wild guess, but let's give it a whirl. How about I banish you, Mehrunes, Dagon, Legola, Lekelo Dehebe Efazepe, to the wells of oblivion.
What? You arrogant little bug! You think you can suck the power from me and cast me into oblivion? Well, it's not so simple as that. So long as my power is anchored to this world, I can resist the outflow of my Magicka. If not forever, then certainly long enough to blast you and your incantation into contentious syllables. And consider it, fool, no mortal weapon ever forged has the power to sever my anchor to this realm.
Of course. How could I be so silly to have come all this way without a weapon to sever your ties for this realm? Only a weapon forged in your own substance could ever harm you. But wait, look what I have here. The broadsword of the Moonreaver. Personally forged from your own essence for your bodyguard and paramour, the Dark Seducer, who so lately has fallen in combat. Is it too much to hope that this is the very weapon I need?
1,000 curses! You are right, mortal. I have been a fool. Mistakes have been made, but no more. You die now, before more mistakes are made.
I can see I've pushed you too far. I just need a few moments of respite from your terrible power. Can no one help me? Will no one protect me for the few instances necessary to strike the crucial blow? Shucks. If only I knew how to get in touch with my old friend and ally who owes me a favour. Jessiel Morgan! Jessiel, by your generous oath, I summon you to come now. This is a really, really, really good time! At this point, Jessiel is summoned and provides the window needed to strike the final blow. It's only a couple of seconds, and if you don't take the opportunity, Mehrunes Dagon will kill you. However, with Dagon defeated and your partner saved, time to roll end credits. From a lore point of view, it does throw up some interesting things, such as how the Daedra see mortals and how they actually feel about them. So, thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and watch more of our videos, and hopefully this gives you an interesting overview of one of the lesser known Elder Scrolls games.